Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I got your story titled, Lung Cancer, 3 Kids, Wife Cheating. Your thoughts. And a shout to Jacob for sending in this story. And guys, this story is about a guy who has been definitely going through a tough time. This guy finds out that he had lung cancer at 40-some years old, and he's gone through the whole process of surgery, recovery, and all that, and found out that his wife was nice enough to cheat on him. In fact, full-fledged affair. And now this guy is going through the divorce process. Wife wants to get a divorce because obviously she has a lover, and you're going to see just how much this guy's done for her. Well, guess what? She doesn't care and wants to take him to the cleaners. But our guy here, he knows more than she knows. He knows about her cheating, and he's planning things accordingly. And I'll be going to go over, guys, just to show you just how low some people can be. And men can be low too, don't get me wrong, but in this case, wives. I've covered countless stories where guys get sick or major surgeries, major injuries, and boom, it's like the wife's mad at him for, God forbid, being human and things happening like an illness or an injury, something like that, cheats and wants to get rid of him. It's amazing how heartless they can be. But also you're going to see, this is very important here because I'm here to teach, this guy puts his heart and soul into the marriage, giving her everything to make her happy. And yet, amazing enough, he can't make her happy, which is a very important part that you don't ever do that, guys. You don't light yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm. You can be good to somebody who's good to you, but you don't give them everything when it's not reciprocated. And look what's happening here. But anyhow, you're going to see that, what's going on here, but our guy at least is one step ahead of her. So it starts off, says here, I'm 43 years old, and I was diagnosed with lung cancer in June of 2024, even though I had never smoked. 2 lobes of my lung were removed, so basically half my lung is gone. Holy crap. Since that moment, it was like something inside me went boom. It felt as if something or someone ripped my heart wide open. Suddenly I was completely present, awake, touched by life in a way I hadn't been before. I've been with my wife since 2010, and we have 3 children together. She always wanted the classic family model, stay-at-home mom, not a career woman, and I did everything I could to make that possible. Well, what you're about to hear just will infuriate you more, given this little background here. I became self-employed, worked 60 to 70 hours a week, often on weekends, and after work, I always came straight home and didn't do anything for myself anymore. No sports, no hobbies, no meeting friends, because I felt guilty taking time for myself while she was alone with 3 kids all day. Smack! I'd be smacking him more, but considering what he's been going through, I'm limiting it to 1. I respect the guy who starts his own business and does what he can to take care of his family, but he's doing too much. And by the way, she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Okay, he's allowed to have time for himself and hobbies and stuff like that. That's crap. So many guys do this. And look what happens. Wait till you see what happens to him after everything he's done for her. I wanted to build a good life for us and even managed to save enough on my own so we could buy a house. In 2024, I used my entire savings to buy a big house on the outskirts of the city in a green area because she really wanted a house with a garden for us and the kids. I actually would have preferred a flat, something smaller and easier to manage, but I did it for our family dream. You did it for her dream. Again, you're the guy that's sacrificing everything to make the little missus happy. You should never do that. You're allowed to have wants and needs, gentlemen. Now I'm sitting here alone in this huge house with half a lung and 3 kids to think about, and it feels incredibly empty and overwhelming. At the same time, I was completely overwhelmed. Honestly, I wasn't a very good father. I was exhausted all the time. My wife took almost all the child care while I was burying myself in work. What do you mean you weren't a good father? You were a good father. You weren't out all hours of the night. You weren't out partying or drinking. You were doing what you could have provided for the family. And guess what? She should be taking care of the child care. Because what the hell else is she going to do? She has no freaking job. She's a stay-at-home mom. What? Stay-at-home mom means sitting around watching Jerry Springer all day or whatever the hell it was? At some point I noticed she was struck emotionally, frustrated, and felt trapped. I knew that back in the United States she'd wanted to become a psychotherapist, but never pursued it here in Austria because of her lack of confidence and because she thought her German wasn't good enough. Then she can work on her German. People learn second languages, for heaven's sake. That's an excuse. So I told her, just do it. Forget the money. Go to the private university where you can study English. I'll work hard. We'll manage somehow. The tuition is about $7,000 per semester, and I made it possible. Why is she studying English when she wants to learn German? I think he has it mixed up. Then, towards the end of 2024, I noticed that she was changing. She became more confident, went out more often with her fellow students, mostly young, wealthy girls whose parents paid for everything. I heard a lot of stories about divorces and relationship drama among the students and got the impression that this psychotherapy program is kind of a bubble for who is with whom, who broke up with whom. So she's a married woman, 3 kids, and she's hanging out with a bunch of young gals, and no surprise, she wants to basically be like them eventually. And by the way, she gets to go and have fun with girls while he's working 60, 70 hours a week and taking care of the house. No, that ain't cool. This woman is selfish as can be. She's a user. At some point, we didn't even share a bed anymore. First because the kids ended up in our bed and I got pushed out, and then because we were emotionally distant. By late spring 2025, she didn't want to sleep with me anymore. When we were intimate, it felt like she did it out of pity. This is the worst business deal ever. This is why marriage is a bad business deal overwhelmingly for men. Sometimes guys might get a decent gal out there because they do exist. It's rare. But seriously, what does he benefit from all this? Except he got kids. And I hope to hell they're her kids. His kids. Should not be tolerating this crap. She ain't sleeping with you. She's sleeping with somebody else. I asked her what was going on and suggested couples or family therapy several times. She always avoided it. Things kept getting worse, and suddenly she was running around like a 25-year-old student, crop tops, showing her belly, looking at herself in the mirror all the time. She lost at least 10 kilograms, bought lots of new clothes, and it was obvious she desperately wanted to feel attractive. Attention and validation. She is a mom. I'm guessing she's at very least in her late 30s, early 40s, and she's trying to behave and act like a 20-something. It's unacceptable. And he should be laying down the law. All of this, when in the last year, I wasn't even allowed to see her naked with the lights on. And I would have loved that because I love my wife's body. She looks great for her age. In October, she told me, wait for it, she wanted a divorce. Boom. After all he's done for her over the years to make her life easy, sacrificing what he wanted to do, this is the thanks he gets. Despicable. Well, I asked her straight away who was the guy, because everything else was so obvious. I already had a suspicion because she had introduced me to some of her fellow students, and there was one man she strangely emphasized, especially the fact that he had a child. I kept wondering why she pointed this out. I did not ask if he had a kid or not. Not long ago, I found out that she'd been cheating on me with this fellow student since May. Well, there you go. That explains the lack of the loving. She's getting it someplace else. And her dressing skimpy and all that, get rid of her. I discovered it because there were sex-related things in the bed, which made me wonder what was going on. Sex-related things in the bed? I mean, she could not sleep with me for the last 8 months, and every time she refused to have you-know-what with me, and she told me, it's not about you, it's about me. And I just said, I don't want sex right now. Oh, that's what she said, my bad. And suddenly there is a sex-related stuff in the flat. She explicitly told me several times that she didn't want any other man, and she had nothing to do with her desire for somebody else. Well, I hired somebody to follow her, and he confirmed that she is meeting a man, which she claimed to go to her internship. There you go. For PI. They're using the PI overseas. It works. Knowing now that she was already sleeping with him while telling me that makes me feel like a double betrayal. What hurts me even more is that she's been lying to me since May. At the same time, she came to me with this idea that she didn't really want to have a full divorce yet, just a physical separation with a marriage contract. Mainly so that I die, she would still get the widow's pension. Are you shitting me? They don't want to totally divorce, just divorce enough to be separated, but she still can get that pension in case he dies. Man, this chick is evil. Dude, writing on the wall, do you see it in front of you? The Lord, nature, somebody's telling you, just get rid of her, this chick. She's terrible. She assured me it's not about her, but it's about the kids. But honestly, who's supposed to believe that when she's been looking me in the eyes and lying to me for the past 8 months? This woman is evil. I was shocked when she told me but I accepted her wish to separate on these conditions, because at the very beginning, I did not know that she was cheating on me. Okay, so eventually found out. Of course, this is not an option for me anymore. I want to be divorced from her as soon as possible. Well, thank God for that. This guy's done so much. I mean, I was starting to think when I first read this that he'd be like, no, we have to stay together. But this guy, as good of a guy this guy was and meant well, this guy definitely didn't help the situation by giving her everything. He spoiled her. I'm already preparing an offer, and she does not know that I know about the affair, and I'm still playing her game. Anyway, knowing about the affair, it now looks like a plan to me. Keep me legally and financially as backup, have the affair on the side, and see where it goes. From her perspective, divorcing me first would be a huge risk, because there's no guarantee that this guy will actually leave his partner and child for her. Well, no kidding. In fact, when he's done banging her and gets tired of her, yeah, he'll get rid of her. To me, she seems very lost and emotionally needy, almost clinging to him while still trying to keep the security that I provide. Dude, she's evil. She's a selfish asshole. Can't you see this? And by the way, she isn't just cheating and betraying you, she's also cheating and betraying the kids. Well, right now, I'm trying to survive and gather enough strength just to stay here for the kids. A divorce in itself would have been okay with me. That's her right if she's unhappy. But the lying and cheating during the time I'm fighting cancer is destroying me. Yeah, she's doing this while he's in recovery, for God's sakes. What a witch. I feel like I've never been this hurt deeply by any human being at all, and it's happening exactly at a time when I need all my energy to live. I dream about the two of them. I can't sleep properly, and when I do body work, like at the gym, I sometimes end up crying in the arms of strangers who comfort me because the pain is so intense. Oh, not at the gym. It's some health thing. Dude, take this as a blessing to get rid of her. My God. Unfortunately, you gotta share kids with this witch. I hope like hell those kids are his. So here are my questions to everyone in Reddit. A, what do you think about a person who behaves like this? My trust is completely broken, just like my heart and my soul. Because of the 3 kids, I can't just cut her off from my life entirely, even though part of me would love to never see her again. Yes, you can. You have just arranged when you exchange the kids, because obviously it's going to get joint custody, I assume. Fine. You communicate through that. A lot of people talk about that app where it's only about, business. There's a record of it. I have nothing to do with her beyond that. Please also keep in mind that I hurt her in our relationship as well, which I deeply regret. The things that probably wounded her the most emotionally, because I lost myself, were I wasn't emotionally there for her when our children were born. I wasn't emotionally there for her when we lost a child. Ooh, ouch. I stopped writing in our relationship journal after the kids were born. I wasn't able to show her in an authentic way that I loved her, and I was avoiding towards her until I was diagnosed with cancer, which made me realize I failed both myself and her. Well, it sounds like the guy was wrapped up in his job, his business, to provide the life that she wanted. Okay. Maybe in his mind he isn't perfect, but that doesn't justify her having an affair while he had fucking cancer and recovering from that, lost half his lung, and betraying him, betraying the family. No. This guy's, it's easier for him to just say, I made all these mistakes and caused her to do this, as opposed to having to accept that she's a rotten person and you chose wrong and all that. It's easier, it's all my fault, because this guy is used to handling everything. Bullshit. B, what would you have considered the right way to handle this? According to my own values and the empathy I thought my wife had and I shared, I would have done things very differently if I had been unhappy in the relationship. If she had cancer, I would have stayed by her side until she no longer needed me. I would have at least tried couples therapy, and if the love still wasn't there, I would have ended the relationship honestly. But I would never have cheated on her, especially in such a vulnerable phase. A breakup hurts, yes, but what feels like an extra layer of cruelty on top of that, of everything. Yeah. If she wasn't happy, fine. End it. Stay with him during the recovery stage and then end it. But so much for in sickness and health, till death do us part here. No, she's a big cheater. And I believe him honest when he's saying what he would have done if she got the cancer. Of course. Lots of stories I've covered where These wives will, cheat on their husband when they get sick or dump the husband when they get sick. What would you have done in my position? And what would you have done in her position if you were unhappy, but your partner was fighting cancer and you had 3 small kids together? Again, he's asking Reddit. C, forgiveness. Courageous or just stupid? Since the cancer diagnosis, I feel like I can love more deeply and see the beauty in life much more clearly. For the sake of my children, I am in theory willing to work on myself so much that I might be able to forgive her one day, not get back together, but so I don't become bitter and can stay emotionally available as a father. Do you think that is emotional suicide, humility, or just naive after everything she's done to me? In the end, I'm standing here with these questions. How do you cope with a serious illness and it changes you completely, and at the same time you realize that the person you loved has been betraying you during the exact same time period? How do you protect yourself, stay there for the kids, and still keep your heart from turning to stone? I'd really appreciate honest perspectives, especially from people who've gone through this. And illness, betrayal, or separation with the kids, and maybe even a house and financial responsibilities involved. Holy crap. Well, here's the thing. Nobody wants to walk around being fueled with anger and hate in your heart because of a betrayal, although nobody can blame you. Don't let her turn you into some miserable a-hole, because this guy's obviously a good guy. He's just misguided in his way of doing things. Frankly, I would let that anger and hate fester for a little bit to get him through the hard times. And then he can work on forgiving her so he's not a hateful person. But to answer all his questions in reverse order, fine, yeah, you can forgive her one day, but don't ever trust her again. Divorce her, get rid of her, and just have as little to do with her as possible. And by the way, dude, I guarantee when things fizzle between her lover, she'll be back. She'll be back because she want the life you've been providing and not care all about you. Do not fall for it. Do not say, take her back for the kids. She's a rotten woman. Don't blame yourself for all your things you've done. Nobody's perfect in any relationship, but she's proven to be evil. Okay? Abso-freaking-lutely. And maybe paternity test those kids. I don't know. But it sounds like this guy wouldn't change a thing if he found out that they weren't his kids. As for the divorce, get a freaking lawyer right now. Get a female attorney and prepare to go to the mattresses. Do not think for a second. She won't try to screw you over everything. Try to take that house that you saved up for, that house in the country that she wanted so much. Take that from you. Get full custody of the kids. Make you the reason for all her unhappiness in the world, even though you've been doing everything for her. Don't underestimate her. Prepare to go to war. And you know what? You should. And I forget his first question in there, but maybe about why would she do this or how could she do this? Well, she's an asshole. End of fucking story. Now, I saw a few things in the comments section saying that she really was a caring mother and all these other things. Bullshit. Caring people don't do this. End of freaking story. It's just a lot of guys, and I've experienced this, I've seen this so many times, it's easier to say, it must have been something I did to cause her to act that way, because in their mind, she's this perfect little thing, and they would never be dumb enough to marry or get involved with or be fooled by someone like this. They'd rather say it's something they did and caused this. It's that way thinking, maybe it's something I can fix. No, you can't. You can't fix evil. End of freaking story. So, there you go. Now I'm going to read a few comments here. One guy says here, A, what do you think about a person who behaves like this? Certainly nothing kind. And yes, it sucks when you have kids because likely or not, you will see her again. B, it's a moot point. That's not what happened. You fall forward, stop overanalyzing everything. She made choices. C, forgive her for the sake of your kid's sake, not hers. You forgive her so you don't have that shit turning toxic inside. You ain't got room for that in your life. Everything you need to be fighting cancer, not eating away yourself or burning with rage. You realize that for her, she failed in the for better or worse in sickness and health part. When the stress test crucible came for your marriage, she cracked and failed. You take a more petty approach than anger. She was weak. No, I would take a little anger. I would use the anger and hate temporarily to push him to get through this whole thing. You mentally shift to her being a mandatory business partner. You go gray rock on her emotionally and don't invest in her. You care for your kids, show up to their events, and find a way to sit near her so your kid doesn't have to go ping pong or scan the audience at the recital. You love your children more than you resent her. You may have to write on the mirror and post it 37 times around your car and house. I love my children more than I resent my ex. Keep repeating it until it's true because there are moments when it will not be. And one more. This is from a woman. She's quite blunt. She says, Rip off that motherfucker the Band-Aid and do not tell her any cards you hold. She will do everything she can to F you over and will try to spite you in every single step of the way, especially when it doesn't make sense financially, because she will only care about hurting you. She'll use your kids to try and hurt you. She'll try to kick you out of your own house. She'll try to get you to pay for everything she can. Do not let her F you over. Talk to all the best lawyer firms in your local area and towns over so she cannot go to them. She'll try to get you to pay for her lawyer, too. Also, remove her as a beneficiary for everything and name your kids or a trust for your kids where she doesn't have a single hand or involvement in. There you go. That's from a woman. But anyhow, man, this poor guy. Now, again, he didn't help himself with doing what so many guys do, give up everything to make the wife happy. And guess what? He didn't make her happy. And I bet you, even if he didn't have his own business that requires 60, 70 hours a week, and he worked a 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week, and she had to work, guarantee, and he was there for her more often, emotionally available like he said he wasn't, guarantee she wouldn't have been happy because she would have been happy that she had to work. She would have been happy because they probably wouldn't have the income that she wanted and all these other things. So there'd be other reasons to fault this guy and justify her actions. But to do this when he had cancer and recovering from cancer, my God, that is a whole new freaking low. So best he can do is get rid of her and move on. So good luck to him. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.